In Pokemon Winds and Waves, we should be getting some brand new regional Pokemon, which is awesome. I love when we do get a new form of a Pokemon that we all know and love, especially when it's a Pokemon that really deserves some extra love and care. Over the years, we have had a pretty good handful of regional variants. We do have a small leak about some regional variants that we could get, such as Delibird, Arbok, Nidoking and Nidoqueen, Dodrio, Kingler, Ludicolo, Carnivine, Durant, and Heatmor. The Durant and Heatmor one is very interesting because there is a leaked location on the Generation 10 map called Anthill Fieldlands. So for that reason alone, a lot of people really do think Durant and Heatmor are actually going to be getting regional variants. And we are going to cover a couple of other awesome regional variants that would just be really cool to see just because this region is based on Southeast Asia. And the reason that we know it's Southeast Asia is because that has been what the leaks have been telling us for a couple of months now. And honestly, seeing the first trailer of Winds and Waves, it makes sense, right? Honestly, a very fitting Pokemon in my opinion is Mantine and Mantine. So here is Mantine. Such a cute Pokemon, definitely one of my favorites. I would love to see a new form of this Pokemon. This artist gave it a water and a dark type, and boy does it look awesome. We also have Mantine also being a water dark, very cool. I love symbol on its head, I guess, or the top of it, black, white with a little bit of blue. I think that's really, really unique. And this artist actually gave it another evolution called Armanta, which looks like a fighter jet. I just had to show this because I just think this is really, really cool. I know a lot of you guys would like this as well. Speaking of Mantine, we actually have another one that I covered with my bro Nintendo over on his channel. So this is just one of my favorites of all time. I absolutely love that blue color, but the sand element is so cool because this Pokemon can hide and sneak underneath the sand, just ready to attack at any given moment. Very cool, and I'd love to see this in some of the shallow waters in Generation 10, because from the trailer, it seems like we will actually be able to pretty clearly see through the water, so that'd be really cool. Heliotops. Okay, this goes crazy because I think Heliolisk is such a cool Pokemon, but I do think it needs a new colorway or just some love to it, especially since it does give off dinosaur vibes, especially this variant right here, which I do believe we need more dinosaur slash fossil type Pokemon. So hopefully Generation 10 may introduce a couple more fossil Pokemon. A regional superior would go insane. So I was actually thinking about keeping this for a different regional variant video based on a Legends game, but I just love this design because Superior is one of my favorite starter Pokemon, or I guess evolutions of a starter Pokemon. So I feel like it would be kind of random if we did get a starter regional variant in this game, but you never know. You never know. It makes more sense for a Legends game just because they can reuse the starter Pokemon and stuff. And if you guys don't mind subscribing to the channel, I'm trying to reach 50,000 subscribers. It would really go such a long way, and I appreciate each and every single one of you guys. All right, let's get right back to the video. Maractus is a very cool and slept on Pokemon, honestly. This color combination is amazing with the kind of turquoise-ish with the white. He has some crystals growing on him. I would love to see this in some of the desert areas of Generation 10 because on the map, it seems like we're going to have a bunch of different islands with a bunch of different themes as to what that island is. You know, some could be a desert, some could be a tropical rainforest. We're going to get all types of ecosystems in this game, and Maractus fits in perfectly. Sunflora would be perfect for this because it's a very sunny region. At least it should be a pretty sunny region. I think Sunflora would be a really good pick for a regional variant in this game just because it's very sunny, right? Very tropical, which I know sunflowers are not tropical, but I just think it makes sense, especially if you give a new type with the grass and a fire. Crazy type combination right there. And here is another evolution of Sunflora as well, which makes him look thicker, definitely makes him look a lot more beefy. Delibird. So Delibird would be awesome. I actually covered this exact same design with Nintendo once again, and I'm showing you guys because it's awesome. He's holding some Wishy-Washy, a Magikarp, and he does look like a penguin, which I know doesn't really make sense for Southeast Asia, but we will be at the beach throughout a lot of this region, so like another bird, you know, water type, would go really crazy. Pangoro and Pancham are some slept on Pokemon. Makes him look like a red panda. I think that is so awesome, especially Pancham, giving him some new colors. His fist is on fire. So menacing. He got a crazy hairstyle as well. But Pangoro, very cute, but also like a little menace looking Pokemon. So I think it would be cool to see him look like a red panda. This is a Mimikyu form that's actually based on Hollow Knight. I just think it looks really cool. It doesn't really make sense for the region or anything. I just had to show you guys because the artist is very talented and it just looks really, really cool. Have you guys played Hollow Knight? Let me know in the comments. So Roggenrola would be really cool, and as well as that, Boldore, and they actually gave him another evolution called Glimmelith. Very, very cool and kind of creepy, but in a cool way. I'm hoping this game is going to give us some deep caverns and caves and stuff, because what we do know is we will be able to go underwater and explore underwater. And in my head, I'm like, what if there's some sort of like underwater cave or cavern that we could actually explore? Maybe that would be a perfect place for a brand new form of rock and roller to be. And since the region map is going to have a little bit of Australia, I think Spinnerack makes sense to have a new regional variant. And the artist also gave him a new evolution as well. Weaverack, very cool. But yeah, Spinnerack, I definitely think deserves some new colors or just a new regional form, especially if we're going to Australia, because that is the land of crazy bugs and stuff. And going on with the underwater theme, Frillish and Jellicent. I love the colors of the white and the orange together. Electric and a ghost type, and then Jellicent is a fire and a ghost type, so it's a different typing. I think those are very cool types to have, for real. Now let's talk about Durant. Now Durant is actually kind of hard to find a regional variant of. I feel like there's not that many of them, but like I said, we do have the field lands in this game, so it just would make sense, especially if we do get to go in like caves and stuff. And honestly, Durant is one of those Pokemon where I would personally love a new design, because I feel like I've never used Durant on a team, or Heatmor, low-key. So if they did have some new forms, maybe I'd feel more inclined to use them. Here is a whole bunch. The one I really wanted to bring up is Kingler, though, because Kingler is really cool, and there are so many unique designs you could really pull off with Kingler. And I mean, obviously, all these are cool too. We have Mimikyu that Loki looks like he ate a Snorlax or something. We got Whiscash. I actually really do think Breloom does deserve a new regional variant. This one is really cool. I mean, it's kind of creepy with the glowing eyes, but I like it a lot. And Toxicroak definitely looks completely different. Dodrio is one of those Pokemon that I've always liked, but I've always felt like it is missing something. So for that reason, I would love a Dodrio regional variant. Now this one is awesome because it actually is Doduo, and then Dodrio is like a purple-ish, orange-ish flame, which goes crazy. I would love to see how this would look in Gen 10, especially because we know that fire and like the flames are actually going to look differently, and the physics of the game are going to be very unique and very, very upgraded, I guess I'll say. So I think that would go crazy for this design. Here's another version of Dodrio as well. So I think the other two heads are like dummy heads. Like I don't think that these would actually be anything real. Like I don't think that they're, I guess, alive. So maybe that's to trick off and scare off the other Pokemon or other trainers, but he kind of looks sad. So let's give some respects to Dodrio, make him happy. Here's another design. I actually found a lot, dude. There are a lot of designs of Dodrio, but this one's really cool because once again, it's completely changing the way he looks. So we have the three heads, of course, being a blue, red, and yellow. And the first evolution of Doduo was like a cannon, and then he turns into some kind of like, I guess, bomb, but it looks very cool. And this is definitely not a Pokemon you would want to mess with. Heatmor would be crazy to have a new evolution for. So this is actually not a regional variant, but these are some new evolutions for Heatmor. So we have Heatmor and then Heatmor, which Heatmor looks very cool. Like, bro, that's a cute Pokemon. I could see myself getting a plush of that. And then Heatmor turns him into a beast. Like, are you kidding me? That's a tank Pokemon. And here's another version of Heatmor that actually does give him a completely different look. So you could tell he is completely blue, which I don't know what type it is, but I would assume maybe it gets like the ice type or something, because it kind of looks like he's from the Arctic. It does seem like on the map we will be getting a ginormous Arctic area with a bunch of snow. So that'd be kind of cool if we got a Heatmor that also had a fire type but lived in the snow. I mean, that'd be pretty unique in my opinion. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. If you are watching this far in the video, comment down below water bottle, just to confuse those people that are not watching this far. Let me know regional variant you would want to see. I would love to know your thoughts and opinions. Anyways, I hope you guys have a fantastic day. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.
Someone